Hi guys, I hope you're all keeping well and safe. Welcome to Early Years Matters TV. On this channel, we focus on everything early childhood related. And if these are the kind of videos you're looking for, what you have to do is subscribe. And not just subscribe, turn on that notification bell so that whenever a new video is being dropped on this channel, you'll be the first person to be notified. Today, I'm going to be talking about pedagogical strategies to teaching. Yes, today's discussion is going to be all about pedagogical strategies to teaching in the area of early childhood. Let me start by defining what is pedagogical strategies. Perhaps you might be wondering what this is all about. So pedagogical strategies are approaches to teaching or learning in the area of early childhood. So these are the approaches that you, the early childhood educator, use in your early childhood classroom to promote learning and development in the early years. Now that you know what are pedagogical strategies, now let me give examples of some of the pedagogical strategies that you could use to promote learning and development in your early childhood classroom. I'll start by talking about tone of voice. Yes, tone of voice. Tone of voice can be used to promote learning and childhood in the sense that, for instance, talking to the children, your tone of voice says a lot. If you're talking to the children, your tone of voice says a lot. For instance, if you're shouting, the children is going to affect them, is going to have a negative effect in terms of their self-esteem, their self-confidence. Perhaps they are going to be scared. If you shout at them all the time, they are going to be scared to come to you. Perhaps there are some things that they want to discuss with you, but they're like, oh, if they come to you, you're going to shout at them. So in return, this is going to affect their self-esteem and self-confidence. It's going to also affect the way they relate to you. Now, let's talk about you using a calm tone of voice. So if you use a tone of voice, for instance, when you're talking to the children, it's going to up in terms of their self-esteem, their self-confidence. They'll be able to relate with you. They know that, yes, you're going to listen to them. You're very calm. Your approach with them is very calm. And in return, they'll be able to talk to you. They'll be able to confide in you. And this will help in terms of their self-esteem and self-confidence. Now, let's talk about tone of voice in relation to story sharing. So, for instance, if you're sharing story with the children, you know you're going to use different tone of voice. So you're using this different tone of voice to convey what's happening in the storybook. And in return, this is going to help to promote learning. First, where you have to use a deep tone of voice, you're conveying how deep that story is. If you're using a calm tone of voice, you're conveying to the children the calm tone of voice that is used in that storybook. In return, this is going to promote learning and development in the area of early childhood. So tone of voice is one pedagogical strategy that you could implement in your early childhood classroom. Now, let's talk about positioning. Learning has a lot to play in relation to promoting learning and development in the early childhood classroom. Positioning in relation to yourself, the early childhood educator. For instance, if the children are painting, how you position yourself goes a long way. It's really important that you position yourself where you can see all the children so that you'll be able to support them. You'll be able to provide them with support. For instance, if they are struggling, you can be able to assist them. For instance, if they need more paint, if they need brushes, their aprons, you'll be able to offer the support to them. So positioning does help to promote learning and development in the area of early childhood. Now, let's talk about positioning in relation to the materials and resources. For instance, if the children are going to be painting, you need to position the paint brushes, the apron where the children can easily reach out for this. In the area of early childhood, it's all about empowering the children. You don't want the children to depend on you. You want to explore. You want them to be able to find out things themselves. So where you position the materials and the resources says a lot. So whereas if the children are painting, you have the paint brushes, the aprons, the paints, where the children can easily reach out for them. So they are not struggling. They are not calling you saying, oh, Florence, I need more paint, because it's where they can easily reach out. Now, let's talk about positioning in terms of story sharing as well. You want to encourage the children to read. You want the children to develop a love for learning. So where you position the storybook in your early childhood classroom matters a lot. You have to position this at the lower level where the children can easily reach out for these books. They're not going to be struggling. Florence, I want that book. Can you help me get that book? So you have to position it at the lower level where they can easily reach out. They're not going to be struggling. They're not going to be needing the adult, because it's all about empowering them. You want them to develop a love for learning. So where you position the storybook does matters. So can you now see that positioning is another strategy that you could implement to promote learning in your early childhood classroom? Another pedagogical strategy that I'm going to talk about is encouraging and praising. concept of Skinner and education theorists, which talk about using assessment to promote learning and development in the area of early childhood. So if you are using encouraging and praising, this is going to promote learning and development. But one thing I would like to emphasize is in relation to encouraging and praising, let the children see the connections between why they're getting praise, between why you are encouraging them. So I'm going to cite few examples. So for instance, maybe a child was able to tie his shoelaces on his or her own. So you're going to say things such as, Florence, well done for tying your shoelaces. So Florence will be able to see the connection between why she's getting well done. Why am I getting well done? Why is someone telling me well done? They're telling me well done because I'm able to tie my shoelaces all by myself. So Florence will be able to see the connection between why she's been getting. So this is important in relation to using encouraging and praising as a pedagogical strategy. Let the children see the connections between why they're getting praised. For instance, if a child is able to put it on his own, so you're going to say things such as, well done, Connor, for putting coat. So Connor will be able to see the reason why he's getting praised. He's getting praised because he was able to put his coat on his own. So this is really important. So let the children see the connections. Let the children see getting praised. This is really important in the area of early childhood. So encouraging and praising is another that you could use to promote learning in the area of early childhood. So this is note of the pedagogical strategies that I've listed in relation to what you can use to promote learning and development in the early childhood classroom. So can you tell me in the comments what pedagogical strategies you're using, or other pedagogical strategies that you're going to be using based on this video? And if you want more of this video on this channel, what you have to do is subscribe. Subscription is free, and not just subscribe, turn on that notification bell so that whenever a new video is being dropped on this channel, to be notified. And until I come your way next time, stay safe and mind yourselves for now. Bye.